Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. Trauma bonding is terrifying for people. If you are trauma bonded, you'll experience the feelings of wanting to stay connected and fix a relationship, regardless of how much this person is hurting you. And this may shock you and it may stun you, and you may be tormented beyond measure thinking, why do I love you so much when you abuse me like this? It feels like love, yet I promise you it's not. In today's Thriver TV episode, I'm going to explain to you the 4 ways that you can know that you're trauma bonded and how to get out of this terrible, powerless state. All right, so before we look at these, I'd just like to thank everyone who's subscribed to my channel and for supporting the Thriver mission. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I want to remind you to please do so. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. All right, so let's look at how you know that you are trauma bonded. Sign number 1 is making excuses for abusive behavior. Truly, when you're making excuses and justifications for somebody's terrible behavior, then you are trauma bonded. This could include focusing on the small things that are very basic, common baseline requirements in any relationship, such as, she tells me at times that she loves me. No matter how many times he leaves, he always comes back to me. We can sometimes laugh and have fun together. But however, there could be things going on like horrific verbal and mental abuse, affairs, physical threats and violence, or whatever it means that you are being abused. And they don't have to be that bad for you to be being abused. Cognitive dissonance is common amongst abuse victims, and it can include excusing somebody's poor behaviour because of feeling sorry about their childhood and what they went through, or believing that it's your duty to help them or fix them. The roots of trauma bonding may make you feel terrified to let a person go. You could feel dependent on them and that losing them would be too excruciatingly difficult to bear. And this could be because you feel like you may not be able to survive alone. I used to feel like that hugely. Maybe you feel like you will never again meet somebody who you feel so connected and attracted to, and you simply have to try to make this work. Or maybe you don't want to ever let go of the possibility of the relationship that you always wanted with this person. And a lot of people feel like that with parents and family. Even though they don't have the resources, and you continue to be abused by them. Whichever way it goes, if your emotional self is telling you one truth, I'm anxious, depressed, sad, angry, hurt and traumatized, and yet you keep making the excuses mentally to stay in the relationship, then this is a sure sign that you are trauma bonded. Sign number 2 is, as the abuse intensifies, you move toward that person instead of away from them. You may be horrified to discover that when this person lashes out and does horrific things to you, that you try to fix things. Rather than have the ability to pull away and look after yourself, you may take responsibility and apologize, or even beg and promise that you will never again do whatever the supposed crime was that you committed. You may throw all of your rights and boundaries out the window to give this person exactly what they want from you so that they won't leave you. Or maybe you find yourself agreeing to any condition that is demanded in the hopes that they will stop hurting you and love you instead. Or possibly you can pull away at times, yet when the situation is out of control, you're the one who's trying to keep the peace, hold things together, find solutions and salvage things, despite inwardly knowing that things don't and won't get better. Despite your efforts, any reprieve is temporary and the issues happen again, usually with more intensity and increased frequency. Sign number 3 is when, disconnected from this person, you feel like you are dying. If things do get so bad that you have to leave and you're trying to stay away to save your life, or you are discarded and then this person refuses to reply to your efforts at contact, you may feel like you are dying. Okay, you may. And if you do, this is a sure sign that you're trauma bonded. Being trauma bonded creates a hugely powerful peptide addiction to this person. Heroin addicts have stated that getting off a narcissist is 10 times harder than getting off heroin. And once you read and understand my publication on peptide addiction, which I've included here and also on my blog, you will understand why this is the case. When we feel like we're dying without a person, naturally we believe it's because we love this person so much, or we feel indebted to them, or guilty or responsible for their well-being. But any of these bonding emotions to abusers are not true. Rather, it's because of the chemical addiction to the trauma we've received that is now hardwired through our system. We realize that these emotions don't make logical sense. And it doesn't make sense because these obsessional feelings are happening deep within our cellular being, beneath the level of cognitive understanding. And this is why we exclaim in complete distress, how can I love someone like this when I hate what he or she has done to me? Why can't I stop obsessing and feeling responsible for him or her? Why can't I just let go and get on with my life? It's because of the peptide addiction that has infiltrated your being, which is a serious side effect of being trauma bonded. Sign number 4 is when this person does something nice, you experience hope and relief. There is an incredible phenomenon that happens with trauma bonding. It's a chemical endorphin that is experienced as the high of relief. And this happens, for example, when he stops being abusive for a moment and he cuddles you and he tells you everything's going to be okay. Or it could happen after he's caught out cheating and he breaks down and tells you he has a problem that he wants your help with and he promises never to do it again. It could happen when rather than criticize and yell at you, she stops and asks, what can I do to help you today? Or maybe rather than tell you all the things she doesn't like about what you have or haven't done, she comes home and has a normal conversation with you instead. It's at these times you heave a sigh of relief. And if the abuse has been horrific, these moments of reprieve can be in such stark contrast that you feel like you've won the jackpot. You may feel there is hope. You may feel blissy on chemicals that feel like love. The feelings of heightened relief are exactly the trauma bonding feelings people have to any addiction. The relief from the pain of the actual thing or person that is the addiction. So for example, with poker machines, with gambling, the payout grants relief from the lost money. Cigarettes, the puffing on a cigarette stops the terrible pangs of nicotine withdrawal. A narcissist, being nice or even just stopping the behavior grants relief from abuse. The high is an addictive endorphin. That's what it is. So what is trauma bonding really, and how do you heal from it? Trauma bonding is being connected to someone through your internal wounds. When we have unhealed unconscious inner parts, they play out by us becoming attached to the exact people who play out these parts with us. So for example, my primary unhealed terrors were about abandonment and not being able to survive as a woman on my own. The abusive people I picked seemed to be men that would never abandon me. They were engulfers, and they were people that just were completely connected to me in unhealthy ways. And also they appeared powerful, protective and capable, seemingly capable in the world. Yet what I faced again and again was being abandoned by these men, emotionally or literally, or me having to separate from them because the trauma of staying became bigger than that of leaving. And when I was unhealed, the trauma bonding was so extreme that I did feel like I was dying, and I would often return. I would continually break no contact. I also lost a great deal of resources and suffered terrible financial abuse in these relationships, bringing to life all of my terrible fears of survival and security that were at the time unhealed. I clung on and I tried to force these men to fix these terrors for me, but they were never the saviour of these wounds. They were the messengers of them. Until I let go of these men and turned inwards to heal my inner traumatised parts, I was powerless to stop the terrible addictions and traumatising I experienced through trauma bonding. So thankfully today, after healing these parts with NARP, I experience healthy, happy relationships that are kind, supportive and healthy. And I've absolutely no trouble in walking away from anyone who represents abuse because I feel whole, safe and powerful within. And I want the same for you too. And I know what a huge difference in your life and relationships it will create once you get there. So I so hope this video has helped, and if you want to get started aligning with these truths to boost and actualize your recovery out of the pain and into truly healthy, wholesome and fulfilling connections with people, then I would love to help you. And you can start this journey today by clicking the link at the top right of this video. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified as soon as each new one is released. And if you liked this, click like, and also share with the communities and the individuals that you know could get help and awaken to these truths by finding out about this information. And as always, I'm greatly looking forward to answering your comments and your questions below. So keep smiling, keep healing and keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.